So when this guy came and just attacked me, hey, and Shapa, I was thinking that guy, like this guy just
for no
beat me up.
reason.
Yes, but it really just changed the way I thought about people in the world. Like it instilled fear in me. These species can't be trusted. They are just so violent and confused, and I was just like, no.
Then
you
now
know,
you're angry at men.
exactly. And something similar happened again when I was at school.
Both your parents
Yes,
were absent.
yes.
Murdered, actually.
As an adult, it hit me hard. Like for the first time, I was like, oh my goodness, why? Like I mean, often I have no money, I have no fun. Like it became a thing.
How are you really doing?
This time of the year gives me a little bit of anxiety, and the donkey carriage literally bumps their Lamborghini.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome to Inside Story with me, Kokitsona Lady Modaum. Today, I have the incomparable Millie Mashile. You might know her as Millie Millions. She's an actor, she's a mother, she's a presenter, and a digital content creator. Millie Millions.
Yes, honey.
How are you doing today?
I'm so good.
Yeah.
I'm so blessed, and I'm excited to see you, friend. I missed you.
I know, right? I missed you too. It's so great to see you.
Yes.
I want to ask you, how are you? How are you really? How are
Yeah.
you feeling in this moment? And I want you to pause and actually reflect on that question. Because
Yeah.
sometimes we deflect, right?
Yeah.
So how are you really doing?
Sure. I'll say I'm good because
Yeah.
God is good. You know, my sister and I actually had a conversation yesterday that the first blessing or the first miracle is always to just wake up, and we need to
Yeah.
show gratitude for that. So I just have gratitude in my heart that we have another opportunity to live. And I always say this time of the year gives me a little bit of anxiety. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It has gotten better throughout the years. You know, I'm fine now. But yeah, I think I'm so hectic. I'm just everywhere. Like my mind is everywhere because of work and just trying to wrap up everything and just trying to finish everything, trying to make sure the family's fine, trying to make sure I'm fine, trying to make sure. So it's just a lot.
Yeah.
But I think I'm good. I'm not in a bad place.
Yeah.
I think I'm good.
I love that.
Yeah.
So usually how do you draw yourself towards yourself? Like you're
Yo.
saying now, everything is a little bit scattered. There's this and there's
Yes,
that. There's this family, there's the career.
Yeah.
So how do you center yourself?
Sure, that's a hard one because it changes every time. Like in every season,
Yeah.
I think it changes. And I think in this season, I really had to prioritize myself. I have 3 kids. I can't
Beautiful.
believe it. Just every time I see them, I like have to count them. 1, 2, 3. Then I make myself feel better. Okay, but at least these ones are twins.
Yeah.
And this one came along. Because I just feel like there's so much.
Yeah.
Right? So I think that balance had to first be me filling up my cup. You know, and then once mine is filled, then I can focus on the children, the husband, the work, the sister, and everybody else. Because like I get so overwhelmed. I don't know, maybe because I've become a little bit of a perfectionist and a workaholic. It's just the nature of what we do. You know, you can never relax. Once you relax, the bank account also relaxes. So
Yeah,
I
I hear you.
was constantly be working like non-stop.
Yeah.
But with working, then what happens to the family? That balance, you know. So in every season, I sort of find a new way to balance it out. Like, okay, like in this season of my life, I need to spend more time with my children. In this season of my life, I need to spend more time and invest more in my marriage. And in this time, I need to spend with my sister, or I need to work more in this season, and also find that time to rest. Or else,
Yeah, or else it's gonna
it's a
go down.
feeling. Yeah.
So, tell me, what's your earliest childhood memory? I'm
Sure.
talking you're 4 years old, or you're 5 years old, or even 13. The
I
earliest.
have such a bad
earliest-
memory. Oh my goodness, especially on my childhood.
Yeah.
It just like actually just annoys me that I sometimes can't remember moments that I want to remember. Like I would look at pictures, right?
Yeah.
When you go back home and I'm like, oh, this was our birthday, but I have zero memory of it. But I think the memory that I have was maybe like my early teens. And my sister and I had like a tape recorder in the bedroom, like we had like a radio thing, tape recorder thing, and then we used to record like links you know, and then we go after, when we're done, we go to the mirror. Then when we get to the mirror, then we record more links in our head. I don't know, we thought people are listening or watching us or whatever. I don't know how we made sense of that. But I was like, if I can hear people on radio, they can surely hear us. I'm like,
being a child
in my head, I'm like, nope, they can see us. Nope, if we can watch Rich and Brooke, somebody overseas is also watching us. I thought life is a reality show.
But don't you love the mind of a child though?
Yes,
because in
so
your mind
innocent.
is real, right? That is real.
Yeah.
But that's what projected that into the future, isn't it? Don't you think so?
Absolutely. Like, things fell into place. You know, with me, I always say that everything that I've always dreamt of, like wanted to be, you know, even unconsciously, like that, those moments were unconscious. It wasn't a thing like, I want to be in the industry. That was way too serious. It was just playing around, but that playing around informed, I guess, my mind focusing on the right things, being focused and just knowing what I want. Of course, I had delays there and there, but in my heart of hearts, at least I knew a little bit of what I really wanted to do.
So do you think that is your purpose? Or what do you think your purpose is?
Yeah, I think it's part of my purpose in that everything I do, so every company that I've ever worked for, every show that I've ever done, everything, like, sort of, there's something common in that. There's a lot of, like, communication to people, a lot of, like, information, and a lot of me being myself. Like, I haven't really done much of fiction stuff where I have to be somebody else. A lot of the stuff that I had to do within my work had to be me being me. Me having to show up as Millicent, which now comes with a lot of pressure, because it's just like, what are you portraying out there? My opinions, my thoughts are given out to thousands and sometimes millions of people. So that kind of environment was just like, yeah.
But the Bible says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks.
Yes. And it's such a big responsibility. So it's important for me to always speak life more than anything. Like, even on my vlogs, even on my YouTube, like, I always strive to be positive and to speak life and choose to focus on positive things rather than the negative. I mean, I'm not oblivious in that life won't, you know, show you flame. But I'm like, when the Bible says count your blessings, it's teaching us to be grateful. It's teaching us to count the things that we can be grateful for, unlike counting the stuff that are not going right, because then what? You know?
Then what?
Because immediately it's like it just makes your mind to be positioned differently. You know, I'm just like, I'm not avoiding it. I will deal with it. I will pray about it. I'll go to therapy. I'll talk about it. But I just don't want to focus on the negative, because that's not the direction that I'm trying to take. And people are just like, yeah, but you can't always be happy. I'm like, it's not being happy, it's making a choice. At the end of the day, I have those choices that I make every day. And those choices are me counting my blessings and being grateful.
Because the kingdom of God is not bread and milk.
Yes.
It's joy, peace, in the Holy Ghost.
That's it.
Right?
That's it.
Once you understand that, I think then you are obliged to yourself and to God to be positive. Whether it be all the time, as people say. So let's go back to your childhood. So you're 4, you're 5.
Yeah.
One thing I know is, I know that you have spoken a bit about both your parents being absent, being murdered actually. And you being brought up by your gogo.
Yes.
Right. So at what age did you realize that I actually don't have them both?
Sure. That is such a good question. No. And the funny thing is that realizing that I don't have them both actually happened in my adulthood. Maybe it's only synced in then, but when I lost my father, it wasn't a thing of, oh, now I don't have them both. Like, it was never that. I think maybe my grandmother had a good way of sort of like covering it up and raising us well, in that because I didn't see the gap or feel the gap, I didn't focus on it. But as an adult, it hit me hard. Like, for the first time, I was like, oh my goodness, why? Like, I mean, often I have no mother, I have no father. Like, it became a thing. But before that, it wasn't a thing. I think when I lost my father, maybe because we didn't have a relationship with my father, then it didn't feel like, it was a loss, it was a painful loss, yes. But because he was not present, there was nothing to the immediate life routine and lifestyle that changed drastically. So it wasn't thing like, oh, now I feel like I don't have a father and a mother because he was never present. But I think if he was present, I was gonna feel that gap and then realize, oh, actually I don't have a mom and a father. Then I have to explain to my kids, I'm like, oh, your grandparents now, actually they are both not here, you know. I'm like, that
How does that conversation go like?
It's strange.
Yeah.
Do you know kids don't understand the concept of death? I didn't know that. I had to explain to my kids. I had to sit down with them and explain to them, like, someone dies and passes away, then you never see them again. My kids had no concept of death.
Yeah.
It was the craziest thing when my mother-in-law passed away a few years ago. The boys, obviously, they were super close with their grandmother, like very, very close.
Yeah.
My kids couldn't make sense of the situation. I mean, I think they were 11 or whatever. They cried, but they didn't understand the concept. And I didn't know that I had to teach them. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is what we went through. You know, you grow up and then you understand the concept. Yes, they tell this person not coming back, but as a child, the concept of death is weird, hey?
Yeah.
Like I told them, you're never gonna see her again. And they're like, but never, as in Christmas, like she won't be here. I'm like, never means never. You know, like people are born and then people die, and then it was such a weird conversation.
Yeah, I can understand that. So you have dealt with so many losses, right?
Yeah.
So how did you deal with it? Because I'm hearing you say it hit your heart as an adult.
Yeah.
Meaning, as a child, you never dealt with it.
No.
So right now, as an adult, how did you deal with it? How are you dealing with it? Because obviously it affected your mental health.
Yeah, it did. I think talking about it and being okay with talking about it, and I knew that I'm making progress when I started talking about it, and I don't have to cry, I don't have to, because I've taken time to really get into it and feel the pain and allow myself to feel the pain. And going for therapy, I mean, I believe in therapy, although I've stopped, a little bit. Your therapy at Dura now, girl.
It's expensive, but you can't
so
also do it
expensive.
for a long time.
Yes, you can't do it forever because you're going to rely on it as well. Exactly. I was like, let me just face this, you know. Yes, you're going to get coping mechanism, but you have to face it. But I struggled actually the past days with fear, right? For the longest time, I used to fear death, like with everything in me, because death felt so close.
Yeah.
Like it was just like everyone just died. I remember before I turned, my mom passed away when she was 26. Before I turned 26, I thought I'm going. At 26, I was like, nah, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. I just look at my kids, I'm like, if only they knew. You know, I don't know why. And then when I crossed that bridge, after 26, I was fine. But before that, I had to now deal with so much anxiety of thinking, am I going to live beyond 26? Then I knew, okay, there's a bit of a trauma here. Because in my head, it never made sense how somebody that's 26 years old can die. And then I had to deal with that. And then I was fine. And I think also with my father, I had to do a lot of forgiveness and understanding. You know, as we become adults and we get into adulting, we start understanding our parents and the decisions that they made and the choices that they made. When I was younger, I used to blame my father. I'm like, how could he be such a bad father? He was not present. And then I grew up, and then I got to understand that there's always things that happen behind the scenes. There are childhood traumas. There are stuff that he experienced that he didn't deal with. You know, some of the actions are reactions to something that he had gone through. You know, he didn't know better. You know, I think if he also knew what it's like to raise daughters, he would have loved it. But he missed out on that. He didn't know how much he needed us, and we didn't know how much we needed him. You know, so as an adult, not that I'm making excuses, but now as an adult, diagnose a man.
Yeah, of course.
Right, but not like rejection. You know, even the way he was. I mean, he was like doing crime, and he was in prison for most of our childhood years. So for you to even be in that situation shows you are dealing with
a lot.
So before we even get to him to be a father, I'm like, how did this very smart, intelligent, handsome young man end up doing crime? He had so many options. I'm like, okay, no, there's something deeper to this, you know, but we obviously didn't get to get to that and unravel that. But yeah, I got to a point where I was understanding and forgiving, and I was like, I just wish we had a relationship.
I love that.
Instead of just having anger towards him.
I love that.
Yeah.
What does surrender mean to you? How does it look like?
Surrender, ne?
Yes.
Wow. Sure. It's just like putting trust in God, hey? Putting it all on the table and be like, I'm not Superwoman, hey?
Yeah.
I can't do it all. I don't know it all. I'm just but a vessel.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know?
And do you find it easy? Or is it difficult at times? And what makes it difficult?
I don't think it's difficult. Maybe because every time I've relied on my own strength, I've like, it backfired. I failed dismally. So I go back, you know, I go back to the creator. It's like, it's circles.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, you know what? It's like, I can't. I just don't have this. Like,
So for a person who doesn't know what surrender looks like, right?
Yeah.
So give me an example of that moment where you tried it in your own strength and it backfired, like you said.
Sure. Wow. I think just my career as well. Like, I tried to do things my way, and it took me so long to get to where I needed to be. And I understand it was part of the process, but I thought like I knew where I was supposed to be, and I thought I knew when it's supposed to be. I became impatient with God, and I compared myself with other people. I looked at other people's journeys.
Yeah.
I was so discontent, if I can put it that way, for so many years, which robbed me of doing so much in my life, because I just felt like, oh, I'll never amount to anything. But God was saying, it's just not time.
Yeah.
You know, so
this is not the way.
It's not the way. You know, you are not meant to be a child star on some kid show. You are not meant to be on this. You are not meant to. It's just not part of your journey.
Yeah.
You know, and that just made me become lost. For years I was just so confused. I'm like studying this, I drop out, and then I do that, and then I'm just like getting into wrong relationships, and then just like, what am I doing with this person? Nah, let me move on.
But friend, you were so young when you got married.
Yeah, I was.
You had a boyfriend before?
Yes, I did, and it was quite a serious relationship. And then my husband came along. So I broke up with this guy. Then my husband came along. And when he came along when I was like crying and just going through the breakup. And I'm like, please, I need time to heal. He was like, never.
I found a wife.
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. I'm just like, no, I'm just going through a lot. Oh, this guy just, you know what? He just disappeared on me. He just ghosted me. You know, I was just like, man, no, I'm done with that. And then he was just patient enough to just stick around with this broken girl. And then I was like, oh, okay. And luckily, I think his intentions were, you know, a marriage, because we got married like soon after that. And then he wasn't there to like, you know, take advantage of the situation, I guess. So yeah.
Oh, that's
good for him.
Happily married mom. I love that.
Yeah, for so many years now.
10 years?
I think it's 14. I don't really count. Hey? Yeah, because it was 2010. I don't really like counts, and I don't celebrate anniversaries, weirdly enough. I used to.
Why?
I don't know. I think just anxiety. Because if you look at it, like if we're counting, and then you're like, oh, where should we be? 14 years. No, after 10 years, I was done. I was just like celebrating a milestone. I'm done. Like, no, don't buy me flowers. Don't buy me a gift. Don't do it. Don't do it, please.
But I was gonna say, you sound like a surrendered person. You have surrendered. But are you sure surrender or just fear?
I don't even think it's fear. I just maybe for me it's a little bit overrated. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what it is, hey. I just know men anniversaries is not a thing, hey.
Yeah.
It's really not a thing. I'm just like, what are we celebrating exactly?
Yeah. But I get that, yeah. I get that.
When there's a good moment in the marriage, we'll celebrate it as it comes, you know. But as for counting the years, because it's just like, you know, marriage is not really about the duration, you know, really about the quality of a marriage that you have, you know, the quantity in terms of numbers is not a thing, honestly. Like, you can have happily married people who have been married for 6 months and they're the most unhappiest people for 14 years. But who do people celebrate? They're like, this was for 14 years, wow. Gandhi wasn't really a quality marriage, you know.
I hear you, I get that. What do you understand of holistic wellness?
Sure, holistic wellness. That's it's a lot, eh? It's work that you put in. It's work. It's like daily. You know, in the Bible says like daily. You carry the cross daily.
I love that.
Holistic wellness is like a daily choice and daily work that you have to put in. You know, or else somehow there's never going to be a balance. So don't take somewhere. You know, having to make a choice that's okay. Like holistically just means like all of me and everything that I do needs to have some sort of balance. And that for me actually comes with a lot of contentment, eh? I always say to my sister, I'm like, hey, I'm done with studying. I'm not going to study anymore. She's like, how? Why? You know, she wants to do her doctorate. I'm just like, no, I'm done. Like,
she wants to do her doctorate?
Yes, she just doesn't stop with studying.
I'm fine with the masters.
Exactly. I'm like, I can't, because with me, I had to get to a point of contentment, because anything that I leave unfinished gives me anxiety. So I had to be like, it's the same with my kids. Like, I know I'm done with having children. I know I'm done with studying. I know. But before that, when I didn't, like, holistically, I wasn't home, and like I was just all over the place, and it's just like I couldn't feel like I need to do this, I need to like, there's nothing now, no one can convince me now to study any further. And me, even if you can get a doctorate,
me too.
I'm like,
go ahead.
I'm like, congrats, girl.
Congrats, but I'm coming to the party.
You see, exactly, like I get that now. And there's nothing my husband can do to convince me to have another child. He did a very good job to convince me to have the third one. But now, I think I'm at that point where I'm just so content that there's nothing you can do to convince me to have more kids, or to it's even with my car. He'd be like, yeah, I think it's time to change your car. I'm just like, you know, I'm just like, not that girl. Hey, like, there's certain things, once I've reached the point of Gishapu more than Gishapu, then if tomorrow I change my mind, I'll probably just go to the garage there and then change my car or whatever. But I'm just at that point where I'm just like at a place where it's just like, if I'm not okay with it, you know, like, God knows my heart.
I love what you're saying.
And he just knows, man. He just knows. This one, she's fine. If she wants more, I'll bless her with more. But she knows when her cup is full. I'm not a greedy person where I want more than what I already have. Like, I know when to stop. And that's a very, very important thing.
I love that you're saying, I had a sense of emptiness. And then I had to find myself. Basically, that's what you're saying. Holistic wellness is you finding the balance and yourself.
True story.
And be okay with that. I love it. I love it. I love it. So you're in the stage of your life now. I want to take you back to an event. As a child. You're 4, you're 5, you're 13. I don't know. Where something happened in your life that sort of disturbed everything. Your way of thinking. You know, how you show up in the world. That you feel like maybe sometimes you want to hide who you are. That you feel like you're not enough. Or maybe you feel like you're lacking. You know? I want to take you back there. Do you have such a moment or such an event in your life, in your childhood?
Sure, that's so interesting. I'm trying to think of like a specific event. Wow, that's a tough one. Hey?
It doesn't have to be a big thing. It doesn't have to be, oh, you know, I was abducted. That sort of shaped your lens. The kind of person you are today. You know, let's say if you were bullied, for example. When you grow older, you still have a sense of displacement, right? In the
Yes,
world,
yeah.
feeling like you're not enough, right?
Yeah.
So a kind of thing like that doesn't have to be a big thing. Yeah.
Sure, but childhood, I really don't have a lot of memories of my childhood. Like, I wish I had like one moment like that. But I think when I was a teenager, and I think we were just like playing outside, and then, you know, we used to like taking walks, like just walking around the township, just minding our own business. And we met this random stranger, this guy, and this guy just came and fought me. Like, this guy just
For no
beat me up.
reason.
Yes, I think it took me time, but then I think this guy was confusing me with someone. So, like, because he was so angry. I don't know, I've never seen this person in my life. Also, my sister and I were very like indoor people. Next to us, although we really just used to just walk around with some of our friends or whatever, but we're like very like indoor kids and didn't like things and whatever. So when this guy came and just attacked me, hey, and Shapa, I was thinking that guy. I was like so shocked.
She laughs.
The thing is that, like, I think about it now and I'm just like, yo, wow, child, you're so innocent. But it really just changed the way I thought about people in the world. Like, it instilled fear in me. You know, when you're innocent and something happens to you, and then all of a sudden you know the feeling of fear. But before that, you're just like, you know, now it's about everyone, you know, for no reason, and you're just like insecure, and you're just like, but that's like, I think he confused me for somebody else that I don't know, because someone beats you up and then they leave, and then you're just there, and then you're just crying, and then you just have to deal with this. And I'm just like, and I think, and then I resented a lot of like male kids, because I'm just like, these species can't be trusted. They are just so violent and confused, and I was just like, no.
Then
you
now
know,
you're angry at men.
exactly. And I was just like, yo, no, these people. So I had like, you know, a fear sort of, you know, and I was just like, no, I was honestly traumatized. And something similar happened again when I was at school. And then this guy was like, no, you took my pencil, and then slapped me. Like, it happened twice with like strangers. Like, well, he wasn't a stranger because we were in the same class. I think someone told him I took his pencil or something. I think I was in grade 7. And then he like slapped me really in the school transport. So I was just like, man, this gender and violence, eh? And I always tell my husband, even if there's one thing that triggers me, is violence. I was like, just whatever you do, Nje, that department, don't ever be violent, because I'm gonna completely shut down, and you're just never gonna see me again. That's it. Because I'm just like, oh, these people. No.
And obviously that was then, those two instances, right?
Yeah.
Obviously very painful, like you're saying. So can you see like residues of those moments in your life as an adult? Like you already said that it triggers you, right? It triggers you. You can see those residues, meaning in therapy,
I know what I can't stand.
Exactly.
It helped me know. That is the one thing. And I know, you know what, like, you know, especially in relationships, people deal with different things, you know. Like, there's certain things that I can handle in my marriage, and someone will say, no, I can never handle that. Or I can never. I know in my relationship, I know as a person, I don't do well with conflict and physical violence. I just don't do well with it. It's something that I didn't experience at home. And to be honest, like, I hear people talking about it. I mean, I know people who are in marriages who will be like, oh, no, my husband slapped me. Oh, yes, we're dealing with it. Like, I hear stuff like that. But when I hear it, I know that's something that I will never be able to handle. It's a portion that I know that is something that I can't be a part of. Like, I don't know, maybe kilkwala or what, but it's for me, I guess some people call it a deal breaker. And I think that's another thing that I guess the previous relationship before my husband didn't work. I think we once had an altercation, and just the conflict management of it. You know, when you're having an argument, like even your body posture. I'm like, don't even stand up. I'm already shaking. I'm like, don't stand, just stay there. You know what I mean? I was like, no. Like, I don't want to feel like that when you're having an argument. Like, I don't want to fear for my life. Like, your tone, everything, I just can't stand that. Because I think I'm a very peaceful person. I can be loud, but I'm a very peaceful person. And I shut down, literally. Like, even on the podcast that we do with my sister, I always say, every time there's like a conflict on the show, she would be the first one to respond and, you know, say things. And I shut down. People like, but why did you keep quiet if you don't agree? Or why did you keep quiet when this guest insulted you or whatever? Or I don't know what else to do. Like, a freezer.
Do you think that it's something you need to deal with that's embedded in your psyche because of the traumas?
I think I need to be more vocal when I don't like something, or when somebody does something bad. I must say, I don't like what you did. I must be more confrontational. I must speak up for myself, you know, and not shut down. You know, so for me, I get it. Like, I just freeze. And then I watch the episode, I'm like, I should have said something. I should have said I don't agree with that. I should have been more assertive, you know. So I guess it's something that I need to learn to do. You know, to really just, obviously not every battle is yours, but I need to know how to stand up for myself and stand up for the truth and my truth, and really speak out about my emotions.
I think you should do that.
No, I should. I always do this to my son, like, please say something, because at this moment, and an hour later, I'm so angry. You know,
you worked up it. You've got too much emotion.
Yes, I should have said something. I should have done something. You know.
So, I'm giving you a challenge. What are you going to do about it? What sort of, I don't know, strategies, not really strategies, methods, I don't know what to call it, are you going to implement for you to go towards the right direction? That I need to do this for myself now.
I think
I don't need to yell at people, but in a peaceful way.
I think I need to do it, especially even with, I can practice even with my sister, my kids, my husband, everyone. When I don't like something, I must be vocal about it. And say immediately when it happens. Because, you know, tomorrow it just seems like, when I get drama, like, why are we still talking about? I need to learn to address things at that present moment. If I don't like something, I must say, you know what, I don't like this. I also have that problem here. And I would look at my husband and I'm like, hey, what's this guy upset me yesterday? Like, I don't know how much he upsets me. But I'm not saying anything. I'm quiet. By the time I raise it, it loses its value.
And he doesn't get it, and you're still there, and you want to talk about it.
Because that day is over. So
I get that.
Then, at that moment, I should have said, right now, how I feel right now, I don't like how this makes me feel right now. And you can't say it. Because by the time he address, so he doesn't get the seriousness of the situation and the seriousness of the impact that he created in me. But I keep quiet, and then in my head I'm running the conversation over. I'm like, I can't believe you said that. I can't believe you said that.
And that's what creates anxiety and overthinking.
Right? Yeah. And I hate feeling anxious. So much.
Lord help us. Lord help us. Anyway, you're an influencer.
Yes.
As well.
Yeah.
You wear a lot of hats, right? And you have tight deadlines.
Yes.
The clients wants the numbers as well, engagement and everything. So it's very, what does that do to your anxiety, for example? And how do you manage that? Because I can imagine that it's quite anxiety inducing, because it's high level of, it's a very high pressure environment and job. So how do you deal with your mental health?
Sure. Well, when I'm being self-employed, like, I don't know. Sometimes we're actually unemployed, because we're unemployed until somebody actually employs you. Until the brand says, yo, let's do this campaign, right? But I just call it, we are self-employed, because I'm running a business. I am the actual business that I have to run. And you can imagine the pressure. This is your next pay slip. This is what you need to feed your family. And you also want them to come back, you know, because if this campaign doesn't do well, that's your first and your last campaign with this brand. So I'm just like, how am I going to make this sustainable? So each and every single time I get an email, I get a message from brand or agency, like at freeze, I'm just like, Lord, I can't mess this up. Help me deal with this. Help me deliver. You know, and I know we had this conversation off air that what makes us different as people who studied for the arts, you know, because the way we shoot content and somebody that's self-taught, there has to be like a difference. What did we learn in after for 4 years, girl? There has to be a difference.
4 years. 1 year is 100,000 rand. 4 years is 400,000.
Do you understand? We spent $500,000 there. So it's just like, clearly my camera angles must be different. I need to be creative somehow, you know? And I'm like, this is something that I chose. Nobody forced me to be an influencer. And I think of it as like a whole ad. Like, I need to brainstorm the entire concept. What am I going to wear? How am I going to look? What am I going to do to my hair? You know, that whole shebang. It's just like a lot of anxiety. But I've learned to now calm myself down. If I feel overwhelmed, if it means you have to move the deadline, let us move that deadline. I need to be in a good space. I need to be in the right frame of mind. I need to be calm. I need to think about it. I need to see how this brand aligns to me and how I can authentically create this content. And I'm like, because I'm like, if we go about this influencing thing like we are playing, we won't have any jobs in the next coming years. Or even in the next year. You know, so for this to be sustainable, to be a career, to be credible, we need to take it seriously. So I take it so seriously that I am there with a pen and paper, like trying to brainstorm, how am I going to do this? I brief the team, okay, let's shoot this. I'm the most pedantic person ever. Like, my sister doesn't like editing with me. Our editors don't like working because I'm just like everything. I'm just like, no, but that second of breathing, who's breathing there? Remove that part. In the video, you know, I record a voice. I can record like a 10-second clip for like 10, 20, 30 times. I'm just so pedantic. You know, so, but I like that about me. I just want things to be a little bit perfect. If we can make it a little bit better, let's do it a little bit better. You know, so I'm now comfortable in that space, you know, so I really, really enjoy content creation, and I really do believe that brands, as we go, will give us creators more freedom to do us, because right now sometimes we work according to a brief. So I'm like, hey, can you imagine if you give me 100% freedom to create? I think we can do magic. Honestly, I really do think we can do magic.
And also, you're online a lot, so there's a lot of people who love you, loyal supporters, but there's also negativity. How do you deal with that? Make sure that it doesn't affect you. And
can I tell you, I think this year, when I 2024, I'm going to say the flame, I have, like, I've never experienced negativity, or maybe I've never focused on it, but 2024, when I this word trending, I don't even hear it. I'm just like, please, can I not trend? I don't want to trend. I don't want anything that I do to trend. I don't want people to talk about me. I don't want people to have an opinion about me. But I realize that's close to impossible. If I vlog, I put my life out there. If I do a podcast, everything that I do is for the public. They will
It's
talk.
a selfless craft. It's never about you. It's about them first.
That is the part I was never ready for, hey? And now I get why when you watch all these international people, the reality shows are when they're always in therapy. It's part of it.
And you don't get it.
I thought they are being dramatic. And you see the Kardashians, I'm going to therapy.
Like you're hardly doing anything, but you're so busy.
I've never, like, it really got to me. Like, it really got to my mental health.
And how did you deal with it?
There was a point where I literally just wanted to delete accounts, just shut it down, and like, I'm not doing this. But I was like, this is my portion that God gave me. I must handle my portion. I need to carry this cross. Unfortunately, it comes with that. But also, it taught me to be more responsible. I used to just say anything that I wanted. I used to, like, if I feel upset, I would be like, I'm so upset, and then I'm upset about this, and I don't like this, and I realize I need to be responsible with my words, with my emotions, with my feelings, so that I can be accountable. Even when it comes back, I can still be like, but I said that because this is how I'm feeling. But not just press record and post everything. I learned that the hard way. I was just like, you know what? Yes, you put your life out there, but you don't have to post everything. You don't have to record everything. You don't have to spend less time online. So that's something I've learned to do.
I love that. So tell me, what is your purpose? Have you discovered what your purpose is on this earth? God's purpose for your life, and would you say you're living according to that purpose?
Sure. Well, my purpose is a very, very like sensitive one, hey, because it's basically the reason why I'm here, you know, like, and every day I'm like, why am I here? And I love Dr. Miles Monroe's teachings on purpose, on why are you here? Why are you doing what you're doing? You know, how are you supposed to use your gifts? You know, and having to ask myself all these questions every single day. I'm like, okay, I know my purpose is definitely aligned to people, how I make people feel. That's why I'm saying the words that I speak as well. I had to start counting my words. I had to start thinking before I speak, because I realized every platform that I have is part of my purpose. So if I don't use those platforms right, it means I've completely missed what I'm supposed to do. Because this is part of enriching people. It's part of healing people. It's part of informing people. And really trying to also help people find their purpose is part of my purpose. People finding themselves and who they are. That's why I have to be authentically me, so that people can see that from the fruits, and it's not just something that I speak. So my purpose is basically people. Really working with people.
Yeah, because what you're saying essentially is your purpose is serving people.
Serving people, yes.
Yeah, and that's the reason we have. Thank you so much. I love that, my darling. So let's play a game, right?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm so bad at games though.
The name of the game is called Story Improv. So you start a story at the top of your head. Nah?
Okay.
You just keep going. Then I throw random words at you. It doesn't matter what
I have
it
to
is.
continue.
Exactly. You have to continue.
Ooh,
Incorporate that word into your story.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Start your story then.
Sure. Oh, now my degree has to come back.
Yes.
When did we graduate? I'm like, girl, you have a whole script writing
Expose our
degree.
age, girl.
Okay, so I'm going to start now. Okay. So it's a rainy day in Cape Town. And there's 4 girls driving in a yellow Lamborghini.
Cow down.
And they drive on top of cow dung that makes their car lose sides and almost overturning them, almost getting into an accident because there is a truck. So
Baby
it's
milk.
almost a head-on. Then one of them had baby milk in her bag that just spilled everywhere, and the driver started to panic, so she hit dead brakes.
Bees.
And yeah, bees coming out of nowhere, sticking onto that milk, and then they start screaming, and there's like traffic all of a sudden looking at these girls on the side of the road with milk all over them, and now they're running away from bees, and it's just like a disaster.
Donkey.
And then there's a donkey.
Yeah, what
There's a donkey carriage on the highway.
Yeah.
And the donkey carriage literally bumps their Lamborghini.
Oh no.
Yeah. On the rear corner.
No.
And bam! It goes into them.
Socks.
And you know what? Somebody passing with a taxi on that road throws socks at them.
Why?
Because their car is literally like disturbing traffic.
Oh.
Because now traffic is like slow, and now
Yeah.
somebody throws socks at them.
Oh my god, you made me laugh. That's it.
It's
This is
sneaky.
intentional. It's a lot. It's a lot. Story improv by Millie Millionaires.
Poor girls.
Okay, cool. So let's get into the second part of the game, right?
Yeah.
So, name the first 5 books of the Bible.
First 5.
Yeah.
Genesis, Exodus. Genesis, is it Deuteronomy? After that, there's Exodus, and then there's Numbers, and then I don't know what the other one is.
Come on. You know it.
Is it?
Yeah, it starts with an L. L-E?
It's not Leviticus, no. It's not.
It is.
Is it?
Yes,
Oh,
it is.
Alright, these Bible apps, Lord, help us.
Don't tell me you don't own a Bible. You do own
No,
a Bible.
I do, and it literally sits right next to my bed. But I'm an app girl.
Yeah.
I'm an app girl. Like, I just like click
Really?
away. Yeah.
I can't.
Maybe
hey?
because the text on my Bible is so small.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That I'm just like, no, it's like it's too small.
I need to highlight. I'm old school. I need to highlight.
Oh, you
sort
like
of
my sister. You like
Exactly.
old school.
You
But
know?
that's good because it's gonna help you know which book is after which one and.
Like, I want to know that. Please. Relax, relax. So, if you were to get stuck somewhere in
Yeah.
the desert, somewhere in J,
Yeah.
somewhere in space, somewhere where nobody can
Sure.
reach you,
Yeah.
with one person, literally one person, nobody can reach you, you don't have food, you don't have anything, you only have this person, you have to rely on this person to survive, to live in this place that you can't survive. There's no food, there's nothing in this place. You stuck with this person. Who would it be?
Yeah.
One.
Wow. Just one person?
It's just one person.
I think it would be my sister.
Really?
Yeah. No, definitely.
Can she hunt?
Listen, it will be my sister. She'll keep me sane in that situation, okay? through it all. She's that girl.
How are you? Tell me, how are you guys going to hunt?
You know why I say that? Because
If you stuck with Khanya, you at least have Khanya's milk. You
Ha,
can't. Let me tell you, you have Khanya's milk. You can.
I'll be asking me where to go, what's happening next, what are we gonna eat? Oh no.
But think about it. If you don't have food, right?
Yeah.
But you have a bag full of milk, and also you didn't ask me
Oh,
for how long.
milk.
What if it's just a day? But you have something. You're not gonna die of dehydration.
Yes, yeah, but no.
I'll just make an example.
You'll definitely not be one of my kids. They're too dependent on me. They'll be looking at me for solutions. I'm like,
Okay, I get it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Did you have a good time?
I did. I really love having
Are
a
you coming
conversation
back?
with you. Of course, I may come back, Oprah account.
Why would you say that no more?
Give me questions to how I get it like, you know, the like holistic wellness.
But
So
I really enjoyed getting to know you.
Yeah.
On a deeper level. 'Cause
and
I
I've
think
been getting to know you these days because I didn't even know you were
You
like
realize
such a
you didn't know
spiritual
me.
person.
No, not
We
that
never
much.
had like conversations like that. Like I knew you Christian, right? But I didn't know you like you're Christian, like you're deep into it.
I'm a deep person.
And I love that.
I don't speak that much because I'm actually very deep, and that's me
Yeah.
on a daily basis.
Yes.
That is why when you
Really?
said that's why when you said you're really private, it's not that I'm private.
Yeah.
I love meaningful conversations,
Mm.
meaningful outings. If we out, what are we really doing?
Yes. And we've
If
always
it's a
just
prayer
had
meeting,
those,
what are we praying,
praying
for
for?
exactly? And what is it edifying to
I
God's
love
work
that.
and to my spirit?
You love me. You know what you want to win. I love it.
Ah,
You're
I
that
know what I
girl.
want.
You know what you want. You're just like that girl, you know? You're not confused.
I'm not trying to be confused. Oh, maybe not these days. Not these days. At
Yeah.
least, right?
No.
But you're not confused as well. That's what I like.
You,
about
but
you.
you're always like that though.
You think so?
Yeah.
Because I don't see myself, obviously.
Yeah, no, you're always like that. Hey? You're always like that. And very picky about the people around you.
Yeah, that
Yes,
I am.
a very small circle.
Yeah, that I am.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, millions.
Zeros, honey. Abundance. Keep them coming.